Okay. So first of all, this is back, I think like 1989, 1990. And it was the first, I don't know if it was my first or second nephew that was born. I think it was my first nephew that was born. And, growing up in a Jewish family, uh, they actually have a party around this shit. Sorry, you know. So everyone's standing around a table, and the mohel comes, and they remove the sheath. And I don't know who I am back then. I don't know that I'm an empath. I don't know all this stuff, but I did faint because I can feel the energy of the baby who's in pain, right? uh, because we're taking off a body part. So let that sink in just for a moment, right? I don't care how much you think you're numbing that. And why are we putting stuff into our babies anyway, or taking things off? Um, Secondly, um, creating warriors. This is going to be a hard conversation. So I grew up in war. So my husband, his family never raised a hand to anybody. I was used as a punching bag. I was in the hospital half the time, not half the time. I was in the hospital a lot. And, imprints on my neck from being strangled and whatnot. And throughout my lifetime, and I'm just going to admit this, and people can judge if they want to judge, but throughout my lifetime, I never hit anybody because I just thought it was just that wrong. Like I wanted to do the opposite. And my husband is my twin flame. And anybody who understands what a twin flame is, it's a healing relationship. And so we have to heal the wounds of our childhood, but also for Andrew and I, we have to heal the lineage, right? That's our part of our responsibility. And you have that as true. So just for people who know, Tom is also a intuitive. And do you hear that as true, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, never hit anybody. And what I also want to now, take that and chunk it for a moment. Okay. I'm at a conference May 18th, and there's this beautiful bug, like beetle type thing. It was gorgeous, running through the conference. And I'm ready to go get a cup and capture it and put it outside. And I hear this foot come down on the bug, and it sends waves of death through the conference. And it caused me grief, and it also fear. And for those of you who don't know, fear and grief and those low vibration energies are the entryways to negative energy forms like demons, bad negative entities. And if you don't believe in demons, that's okay. We don't have to, but just to say negative forms of energy, right? Let's do that to keep it a safe place. So this negative form of energy is in my body because I had fear, because I now have an open door for anything to come in because I'm in fear that something has just died. And I am crying to my husband on this day, on May 18th, because I don't know what this is in my body. And I know it doesn't feel good. And somehow I got triggered and I hit him. I've never hit it. I don't hit people. And I hit him in the bicep, and I broke my wrist in 4 places.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, first of all, it's kind of hard to break your wrist in 4 places hitting someone's bicep. Just going to tell you. There's a whole story about why that happened and the message I had to give to the orthopedic about using nutrition versus toxins. So there was a gift rolled in that. But the point is that the reason it came up was so that Andrew and I could heal the entire lineage of violence and the concept and thought form of being a warrior. Like we had to release that not only for us, but for the entire lineage. And when his mom told me yesterday that no one had ever hit anybody in their family, and I'm thinking, and she doesn't know this yet. I was going to call her this morning unless she's watching the show. I mean, I grew up, on defense. Tuesday was strap day because it was Tuesday. Yeah. So what are we doing to our children when we bring them into this world with a slap on the butt and cutting off their body parts? Now I'll let you go back, because I'm telling you what's happened over the last 60 years for me, right? And I don't think that I think there are people who have it way different than me, but I think there's a lot of people that have it very much the same as me. Would you agree or disagree?
Oh, I agree. We live in so babies are being brought in this world with the parental trust being destroyed
On
because
days, yeah.
the baby retains this subconscious element. So they believe that I was born and now my parents have allowed me to be, with their, we still have, photographers that mostly are the ones that report it. Nurses don't report it. The doctors don't nobody in the birth community except photographers will say that they're taking babies. They're still holding them upside down by one leg and smacking the baby to say that we're trying to get it to. These are techniques that were, from in the 1950s in London. So they're going to spank the baby, they're going to smack the baby, they're going to pinch the baby, and they say that they're trying to initiate, cough and breathing, but the baby can be initiated for breathing by simply just doing skin to skin contact, rubbing the back, petting, massaging. If you have to tickle the feet,
Tickle the feet, give them a big kiss.
yeah,
right? Give them a kiss, give them love. There's nothing that heals more than love.
And a baby that, is in our world still attached to the umbilical cord when it was born at that point, spent 9 months not breathing, oxygen and air in the womb. Another minute is going to be fine. This little amount of time, it doesn't need to be an emergency where we're smacking. But that still takes place. I'm not going to say that that happens everywhere, but that still takes place, just as an example. But what's happening almost everywhere, in Michigan, it's at like 80%. West Virginia is the highest amount of circumcision. Michigan's number 2. I was born in Michigan. I am circumcised. That's why I feel I can speak about, the excruciating, or like growing up with, this, not knowing why this doesn't function and why this doesn't work the way it should. But in the literature for circumcision, the doctors are still told, like in the medical books, that babies don't feel pain. I've had people come to me and then say, if I say no circumcision, it's painful for the baby, they'll come back and show me studies, National Board of Health studies, that babies don't feel pain. Babies feel pain. What's happening is that baby's feeling betrayed. Then the baby's being strapped down. So they have these boards where they like strap their legs in. They're just little plastic boards. They don't even have, padding or comforting. A lot of times they'll strap the babies, they'll lock their arms down, they'll lock their legs down, and they perform an entire surgery on the baby without giving the baby any anesthesia. So conventionally, the mom's begging for painkillers in the hospital, but they're fine doing surgery on the baby without any painkillers.